Hey, what's up guys? Dr. M3 here with a new video really addressing an issue that I've seen on the forum that I've been asked so many times about paint protection film, PPF for short. And why I do it, and do you have to do the entire car or just a part of the car? And I hear this all the time, that it's not worth the money, you should never do it, it's a ripoff, it doesn't make any sense. And actually, it's just the opposite. I think of paint protection film as riding a motorcycle. Can you ride a motorcycle without a helmet? Absolutely. Is it a smart idea to ride a motorcycle without a helmet? Probably not. And so that's how I think of it, okay? If you're a car guy or girl and you love your paint and you take care of your car and you made all that investment in your car, why wouldn't you try to protect it? Why wouldn't you try to protect your head, right? And so that's how I think about it. So to address this controversy that's all over the forums, I figured I'd make a video. And I have used, XPEL to do the entire car, all of my cars in the last recent years, including my exotic cars. And so I'm going to have the guys who are the experts, my friends from Blackout Tinting, who've taken care of the Model Y and all my other cars, really sort of talk to you about why paint protection film, how it's done, the physical process, and including some stuff that I've done additionally now and I haven't done on the other cars, is the interior with ceramic coating. So let me just shut up and have them walk us through how they approach protecting your paint and why it's important.
So guys, we've been super excited to have the opportunity to work on Doc's Model Y. Here it is, it's all done. We did a full 10 mil XPEL Ultimate Plus wrap. Special thanks to XPEL for hooking us up with that. We did ClearPlex on the windshield of this thing, so every inch that you see, the paint, the headlights, the fog lights, the windshield, everything is protected in some way or another. We also tinted the windows with XPEL Prime XR Plus, which is the top of the line window film. It's an IR rejection film designed to keep Doc comfortable while he's driving around in his Tesla. And last but not least, we ceramic coated the car with XPEL Fusion Plus. So every inch of the exterior is ceramic coated, plastics, paint, and glass. We did a wheels off package to make sure the barrel of the wheels are protected and easy to keep clean, as well as the face of the wheels. And on the interior, we ceramic coated all of the leather, the vegan leather that these cars have, as well as the plastics. And we did paint protection film on the center console and the screen. So that piano black center console is notorious for getting scratched up and fingerprinted and all that stuff. Now Doc doesn't have to worry about that either. So this should be a worry-free driving experience as he uses this Model Y, and that's it.
All right, so now that the Tesla is out of the wash bay, we went ahead and washed it into the whole decon process. We're gonna go ahead and start doing a one-step polish over the entire vehicle. But before that, we have to tape off all of the plastic, so the plastic wheel wells, the plastic on the rocker panels, as well as the rear diffuser. And then we're gonna also tape off all of the matte black trim going the entire way around the windows and around the mirrors. This way, when we are bumping over here, our pad does not hit any of these surfaces and leave any residue behind on them. So let's get into polishing.
To do a full wrap the right way on a Model Y, we have to remove a couple of things. Not much though. So we're going to be removing the Tesla badge in the center. That's what Aaron's working on now, creating a template so that we can put it back in the same spot. We removed the rear spoiler as well. So we still have a bunch of tape on here that needs to come off. We're going to be doing this rear hatch in one piece instead of the kit that has a seam there. That big long seam is hard to line up and pretty ugly unless you get it absolutely perfect. So we want it to be better than that. We also have to remove the dual motor badges down on the side here. These ones are so thin we can't really reuse them. It's almost impossible to retape them. So we ordered new ones from Tesla. They're only like $25 from Tesla, which is really cool. They keep their badge prices very reasonable compared to some other manufacturers. So we're doing the same thing on the hood, removing the T off of that so we can get a nice seamless install there as well.
Alright, so basically for the exterior, obviously you got the full Ultimate Plus wrap. So I went ahead and did Fusion Plus over the entire exterior. So all of the areas that are painted, even these areas that you got the stealth, like your window trim, that all has Fusion Plus on it as well. So all the windows inside, including the rear inside, those are also coated with glass. So basically the entire exterior is done. For the wheels, I know you opted to do the wheels off package.
Yeah.
So basically that center part here is just the center cap. So we just pull that off and then you have your lug nuts underneath there. Pulled the wheels off, did the face, barrel, the back of the spokes, as well as your brake caliper. That's done in XPEL's Fusion wheel and caliper coating. Your plastic everywhere, so around the wheel wells, your rear valence, and a little bit of plastic you have up front is also done. They have a plastic and trim product. One little thing that I did do extra, typically don't do them, but for yours we did. When the wheels were off, obviously in the rear you have the carpeted liners here, and then up front they are plastic. So the rear liners, XPEL makes the upholstery coating. So I put 2 layers of the upholstery coating in here. Now it's not going to offer anything majorly different, as far as looks or performance, but it should
gonna
make
keep
it a little easier for you
to clean.
So if you get your pressure washer wand in here, you should be able to get a lot more of that dirt and grime off easier than if there was nothing on it.
So one of the things that this is actually really good that we're having this conversation because people always ask this question. Well, do I get PPF or do I ceramic coat, or do I do both?
So obviously there are 2 differences between the paint protection film and the ceramic coating. The paint protection film is going to offer you that stone and chip and light scratch resistance to it, whereas the ceramic coating isn't going to offer you much of that, although it is going to give you that sacrificial layer of clear coat basically. So something to keep an eye on is, say you have a Chevy Cobalt, for example. You can wax that thing as many times as you want, or put a ceramic sealant on it, or paint correct it, but you can only paint correct things so many times. So once you start taking down levels of that clear coat, your clear coat is actually going to start diminishing. So you're not going to have as much clear coat there. So if you had a ceramic coating on top of a surface like that, you're kind of building your clear coat levels back up. So even if you were to get like a bird dropping and it sat on the surface just a little bit too long, that's okay with the ceramic coating. It might etch the top layer of the coating, but the benefit of this is, would you rather have the etching into the top layer of the coating where it's something you can easily repair, or would you rather have that into your clear coat where it's one of those things is, you might be cutting down a couple of levels of the clear to remove that blemish prior to just removing the ceramic coating if you're applying it. So those are kind of like, key differences between the 2 items that go hand in hand. Personally, I prefer paint protection film and the ceramic coating, just the way you have maximum protection on as many surfaces as you possibly can.
Now you mentioned, in this case, the entire, all the surfaces are protected. but that can be pretty pricey too. Some folks say, well, are there alternatives rather than covering the entire car?
Yeah.
So what are the areas that you would recommend then, if you're not going to cover the entire car, you would do for PPF for say?
If you're not planning on wrapping the entire car, definitely major hit areas are definitely the front bumpers. You know, every front bumper is different on every car, but no matter what it is, if it's a truck, a sedan, or a hatchback, or whatever it may be, it's going to get rock chips.
Yeah.
That's the front area. It's very high impact for a lot of debris and things that hit that surface. Moving on from there, I would definitely do the hood, as if, you know, depending on how the angles are of each car, you know, if a stone comes up here and it goes over the top of the front bumper, you know, it has a chance to glaze itself onto the hood and move up from there. So definitely do the hood. You know, it can be hit or miss on fenders, depending on how they're designed and how the body curves are and different things like that. If it's in the budget, then I would definitely do the front clip, which is usually the hood, the front fenders, the bumper, as well as the mirror caps are also usually done on the front clips.
Okay.
If you have a little bit of extra money to spare, I definitely recommend rocker panels. Now this is usually an area that's like, you know, maybe 6 to 8 inches wide that goes the whole way down, and it usually does, like on this Tesla, it follows the body line, so it would go the whole way down. Obviously these whole doors are wrapped, so can't really show you on that. But each car is different. You know, you can have this where it has a little bit of plastic down here to protect against rocks. You have like the Range Rovers, which also have plastic, but you can get them painted as well. Or even on a truck. You know, these are all painted, so if you have clear bra or paint protection film there, you know, you're still getting more, you know, chip resistance on those surfaces.
And then sometimes, you know, in this car, you can also see how the rear fender sort of flares out a little bit. So obviously, I mean, if you think about the wheel and how stone chips come, so these are really what you would call high impact areas, right? So in some instances, you'd kind of do that area on the back too, correct?
And usually too, depending on how the rocker kit is designed, it obviously is to go from the front fender back to the front of the back tire, but there is usually an extra strip that does carry on behind the rear wheel as well, so you can get a little bit of protection back here as well.
Okay.
Now on, you know, different vehicles like Cadillacs or trucks that have B-pillars, those are gloss black, plastic, soft B-pillars. Grabbing them, closing them all the time, if they're super dirty, it's gonna scratch. No matter how you look at it, that's another area that definitely gets film on there. Other than those areas, those are pretty much my top choices for high impact areas for protection.
Excellent. All right, guys, there you have it. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank my friends over at XPEL and Blackout Tinting for taking care of this car. You can see PPF really does help your paint, protects it. And with that, I'm going to close it today. Thanks for watching. Peace.